Hi, Dave.
Hey, Phil. Yeah, just you and me, man. I play drums too.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
So the new album, Familial, correct?
Familial, that's right, yeah.
And you know what? Aside from playing drums, you and I sadly have a couple of things in common.
Right.
I read that this album was very motivated by the loss of your mother, and I too lost my mom back in May. And if your experience was anything like mine, it really opens up a floodgate of emotions.
Absolutely, yeah. It's and especially for me, the time it tied in with turning 40 as well. So it's that point where you're kind of naturally taking stock of your life, and as you say, it just I don't think then you lose, somebody who's very significant to you, and it does. It really shakes everything up, and yeah, a lot of food for thought.
Because you had spent your 20s, your 30s, making your way in Radiohead, and did you find or have feelings when your mother passed that life is short, and if there are things you want to get done, you need to start doing them?
Yeah, I don't think that probably did feed into that at the time. It's just that sense of there are things which are appropriate to particular parts of your life, really. And I had this sense that actually if I left making my own record any longer than that, probably wouldn't have happened. So, I felt that I'd got to that stage where I actually had the musical confidence and wherewithal to make the record. And so it just felt like a very kind of slim window of opportunity to make it there.
Within the structure of Radiohead, how wide is the door open for you to chime in with your musical thoughts or ideas on the direction music or the song should go?
Well, I contribute very much for the rhythmical side of things to Radiohead, and we'll sit down and discuss structures, arrangements generally, but my thing is for drumming, and
I guess what I meant to ask you was, with the album coming out now that deals more on the melodic side.
Yeah.
Do you ever find yourself in Radiohead having an idea that doesn't find an outlet when you're within the context of Radiohead?
I'm so bound up in the rhythmical side of things there,
sure.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, they're actually outside of Radiohead, then yes, those ideas come through for me. But it's also so many aspects of that are very well covered in Radiohead. So it's just been very interesting for me to actually, explore those sides for myself, I think, and actually find a kind of a singing voice that's appropriate to me and arrangements which work around that, which wouldn't necessarily work as a Radiohead thing.
Would you say, as you were recording Familial, you went out of your way to avoid sounding like Radiohead? Was there ever an instance where something popped up that, well, maybe you thought, a little too close to the family band, let's move on and do something different?
I made that a conscious decision when I started on it, that, okay, if I'm doing something outside of Radiohead, then it has to be quite different, really, something I wouldn't do in that context. At the same time, I didn't want to inhibit myself. I mean, I'm a fifth of Radiohead, and so there's a fair bit of myself in there. So you wouldn't want to inhibit something that is naturally quite you. But I suppose it's things lyrically which might crop up, which you could. You just think, oh, no, that's happened in a Radiohead song. Can't do
that. You mentioned the differences. Could you touch on some of the other differences between your music on Familial and what we might come to know as a Radiohead song?
I think actually a lot of that's been defined by the musicians who've played on Familial. So, you have Lisa Germano and Sebastian Steinberg, who's the bassist in Soul Coughing, and then Glenn Cochie and Pat Sandstone from Wilco.
Yeah.
And so I think they all bring very, different musical backgrounds and sensibility and everything to the music. So I think when you're working with a different group of musicians, I think it quite naturally takes it off in a very different direction.
You're touring with this band as well, correct?
I'm touring with a band. It's a different band to the one that played on the record. Everybody's got very busy schedules, and so trying to get that to marry up was well nigh impossible. So I have a band which are based in the UK for this one, which again is kind of thrown a different light onto the music for me. So for me, it is constantly evolving, if you like, constantly moving on.
And when you're on the road with this band, are you used to them turning around looking at you as the leader, and if there's a problem, they come to you to fix it? It's been an interesting role to learn to fill out, really. But it's practice, isn't it? You just have to get out and do it and learn on the job. What's new on the Radiohead front, if you don't mind touching? Where are you at with new music?
Well, we're back in the studio at the moment. We've been working on and off for about the past year on new material. It's not finished yet, but it's moving along very nicely, though.
And I assume, since there was mention of the solo project Familial on the Radiohead website, that the band's okay with you doing a little something on the side.
I hope so. Must have slipped that one under the radar.
Oops, I forgot to check. We're on with Philip Selway. His new solo came out in August, correct?
Yeah, end of August. That's right.
The new solo project is called Familial. He gets to investigate the melodic side. The drummer has a melodic side. Did you grow up, learning piano and something other than drums? I know, being a drummer, that's all I ever learned to play. The guitar and anything with chords are a total mystery to me.
I started playing guitar when I started drumming, actually, and then just really focused on once we were signed as Radiohead. Just really had this sense that I had to just concentrate on that for a while. But the guitar's always been there, kind of on a back burner for me, and much more so the past 7 years. It's come more to the fore for me. Trick, isn't it? Just coming out in a different way.
Philip Selway, the new album is called Familial. Thank you so much for talking to us, and we will look forward to maybe having you somewhere near in our neighborhood soon so we can actually check it all out in person.
That'd be fantastic. Thank you, Dave.